Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Armchair Traveler. You know, if you're a GoPro user like I am, you are familiar with the problems that we all have with the batteries. They all have a very, very short life. It doesn't seem to be any easy solution to solve that problem. So the folks at Switronix finally come up with a product that I think you're going to like. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so what the folks at Switronix came up with was a cable solution which replaces the battery in your GoPro. So let's take a look at a GoPro Hero 3. I've taken the battery door off, I've taken the battery out, and this little regulator plugs right in place of that battery. It has a 10-foot cord attached to it, and it's a USB cable, actually. And it'll plug into any USB outlet. Doesn't matter whether it's a Mac, it's a PC, or in my case, motorcycle. If you have those little battery packs you can put in your pocket or whatever to run products off of those, you can plug it into that. It doesn't matter. This thing's self-regulating, so whatever USB port you plug this thing in, you've got instant power on your GoPro, which is fantastic because it cuts the charging system out of the equation. It takes the battery out of the equation. Your camera runs infinitely much more cooler. You don't have the overheating issues of the battery. You don't have the overheating issues of the camera. You can literally run your camera all day. Now, this is the 3. Now, when we go to the 4, they had to do something a little different. If you had a 4, you know that the door opens on the bottom, and that has actually I have a terrible time closing that door. I don't know why, but I do. But unfortunately, Switronix could not make a similar product work with the 4 that they did with the 3. And when I asked them why, it just had to do with the construction of the GoPro camera housing itself, and there just simply was no way to get a cable to come out of a battery on this deal. So what they did was they came up with a little different product. Here's got the regulator, which we need that, but now what we do is we plug into the bus in the back of the camera, and it literally just plugs in, and you got 10 foot of cable and your USB connector, and you're good to go. So that works pretty well for the Hero. Works especially well if you use those open housings where there's no back and no front to them. This works quite well. But truthfully, when I'm traveling on a motorcycle, I don't really want to have a bunch of bugs splattered all over my camera itself. I like to protect the camera from the elements with one of these little housings. So what the folks did at Switronix is they came out with a housing that will work and solve that issue. And so when you buy it, what happens, you unplug this, you get, this is all one unit now, and you can plug that into the back of your camera, put your camera in there. And then if you actually, if you close this up and you have the proper front part, it's a waterproof camera, and here's your cable, 10 foot of cable and USB connector. Solves that problem. Now, I will caution you, there is one issue using the 4, and that is that they're using this back bus connector to provide all the power to the camera, and that means you can't use it for your options. Now, I have the send a Wi-Fi back, and that relies upon, on the 4 or the 3, it doesn't really matter, it relies on that USB or not the USB, but the bus in the back. and I can't use the Sena Wi-Fi back with a 4, but I can with the 3. It will go right on the 3, no problems. And then I put the well, Sena's got their own housing that you use for the GoPros, and I use that, and I have no problems with that. So in a nutshell, if you're tired of dealing with batteries, maybe it's time you check out the folks at Switronix. I'll leave a link here on the bottom of the video for you to check them out. They've been around apparently for a very long time. I'm going to tell you I know very little about the company, but these cables work great. Not had any problems with them at all, so I highly recommend them if you're a big GoPro user like me. Okay, so that's about all we got this week. I'll see you next time on Armchair Trailer.